Amaya, girly pop, I'm gonna need you to stand up. I'm gonna need you to stand up, okay, girly? Because the fact that you're still saying that you're still interested in Ace, even though he's treated you, like Hannah says, he's had you crashing out for the first 2 days of being coupled up with him. And you're still willing to explore, girly, I'm gonna need you to stand up. I'm gonna need you to stand up. Hey, Boo Bears, this is Bits of Banter with Antoinette, and we're going to be talking about Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 8. And it was a doozy. It was a doozy. It was a good episode. We're just going to be talking about some of like the big moments, some things that give us pause or anger. We're going to talk about our feelings. And if you like content like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell at the top so you don't miss any bits of banter from me. Because you don't want to miss this bits of banter. Amaya. Okay, Maya. This whole thing, a lot of this episode, our episode we have here is going to be about Amaya, Ace, and Shelly, because that whole thing right there is a mess. And Ace is controlling and manipulative. After everything that happened with Amaya and Ace the day before, and him being like, oh, so we're just going to be friends now, after literally being so rude to her for 3 conversations in a row. And he was just like, we're going to be friends. And I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant because I've met D-bags like him. Obviously, Amaya was like just thinking like, oh, so like we're going to start off as friends. And I was like, oh no, girly, he's saying he's done with you. He's saying he's done with you. Yeah. Then she's talking to Hannah and she's like, yeah, I think I still want to pursue him. Literally, while Ace is talking to, is it Nick? Well, Ace is talking to Nick. And it's literally like, okay, I have no interest in her. No interest. A scene with Delandre giving advice to Jeremiah, and and she gave good advice. But now she also is also thinking that Jeremiah would be good for Huda, and I'm like, girl, I need you to pick a side. But she pretty much tells him she is somebody, the daughter of a single mother, and she's like, hey, they're a package deal. It's not easy. Like I've almost dated somebody. Pretty much she says she's almost dated someone with kids, but it's really because of their baby mama, baby daddy situation that was like too much for her. So she's like, that's something that you have to think about. And it was good advice. I still feel like Jeremiah is like almost trying to convince himself that he's interested in Huda, or that he's still interested in Huda, because the kid thing, I think, is a deal breaker for him, which is okay. But I feel like he should tell her sooner than later, Then we get Austin and Shelly talking. He pretty much lets her know that like he feels weird with her hanging out with Ace, and Shelly's like, yeah, I get it. And honestly, there was these like ants in the background, and I was like, are these paid actors? Because the ants were it was gross. It was gross. Like you just see these ants like crawling in the background. Then Austin, he ends up saying he wouldn't say that he's falling for Shelly, but he's being more vulnerable with her, which I think is making him fall for her. He's tired of like the whole one night stands. Then we get to a scene where Huda and Jeremiah end up talking, and she's like pretty much again asking him, are we locked down? It's day 7, girly. It's day 7. It's been a week. It's been a week, which I do get that in the villa things move a lot faster, but it's been a week, and he also keeps telling you no. So like it's either you're gonna have to wait or move on from, you know what I mean? Like, or like move on from this. And he's saying, and the thing is, Jeremiah is still full of shit in the conversation, because he's saying like, oh, I'm not pursuing anybody else, but like but I could, if he's like, I don't think anybody would turn my head, but they could. So like, I'm not locked down. And then she ends up being like, oh, okay, so should I pursue anybody else? He's like, what are you talking about? Where'd you get that from? She got it from what you said. You said that you weren't fully in. Yes, all your energy is focused on her for now. She heard the for now like all of us heard the for now. So yeah, she should pursue other people. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be like, yeah, and I'm not all the way in, but for now, I'm as in as I can be unless I see somebody else. And so, yeah, she should act accordingly, which is to, if somebody walks in that she's interested in, she should talk to them, because someone could walk in that you're interested in and you would talk to them and you would be done with her. Like, and it's okay. It's only 7 days. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, let's not act like what you're saying isn't what you're saying. She heard exactly what we all heard. For now, with the people that are in the villa, it's just her for you. he gets irritated with this whole conversation because because he says something along the lines of like, oh, but like I have been focusing just on you. And she's like, yeah, you're doing good. And then he's like, I'm not a dog. I'm not like, don't talk to me like I'm a dog, or don't talk to me like I'm one of your kids. And she does do that a lot, like this like weird type of praising, which does feel like she's talking to a child or a pet. And he's like, I can't talk to you when you're tired like this. And then she's like, oh, do you want to get in the shower? And I was like, girly, you obviously have an anxious attachment style because that was not the answer to that. And he said no. He said no, he does not want to get in the shower with her. And then she's like, well, why don't you just claim me? I was like, he's already said no to that. How about we stop bringing up him claiming you? He doesn't want to claim you. You are unclaimed. Okay, let's move on from that. He will not claim you. He has said he's not interested in claiming you. He is with everyone in the villa. He's focused on you for now. So no claiming had. Okay. That night we get to Ace, Mr. I don't want to be touched. Everyone's about to go to bed and he goes and gives Shelly a hug. Okay, interesting. Then he comes to bed with Amaya, his couple, the girl he's in a couple with, and just sits down and she's like, do I not get a hug? And he's like, no, respectfully. Okay, I see what you're doing, Ace. I see you. I see you. We all fucking see you. We all see you. And then Huda, which I actually liked her for this, she's like, good night, Mr. Ace. And she high-fives him. She's like, since you're not into physical touch type of guy. And I was like, yeah. And honestly, the one thing I do like about Huda, it seems like, I mean, it's kind of weird that she is now all like, oh, like, that's my girl Amaya. That's my girl Amaya. Even though she was calling her a bitch and everything but her name. But now that she knows that Amaya is not interested in Jeremiah, she's like, okay, like, yeah, I got you, girly. Which, I mean, I guess she's consistent. The next day, Ace goes and tells Nick that he's like, I want to plan a date for a girl. He doesn't tell what girl. I think for me, we all knew it was Shelly. Okay. Then this is the part that makes me feel like Ace is controlling because he's like, oh, I want to plan a date for a girl. It's going to be in the morning. So next morning he's like, okay, he goes, I guess, and gets up or whatever, has Nick planning yoga outside. And then he's like, oh my God, she's outside. She's outside. She's outside. So he goes up to Shelly and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm making breakfast for Austin. Okay. He hears, I'm making breakfast for my other connection. He's like, okay, stop that and get dressed. What? First of all, I think that's incredibly rude. Like, first of all, if you're going to plan a date for me. Like, actually plan one. Don't not this last minute crap where I don't even know what's happening. I mean, I don't mind being surprised, but like, you're not going to stop me in the middle of what I'm doing when I'm doing something. You could have been like, hey, what are you doing? Okay, would a good time be after breakfast for us? I have something I would like to do with you. And then yes, but also Shelly, why are you stopping everything for this man? Like, you're in the middle of doing something nice for your other connection and you stop that. Like, I also think that's extremely rude. And I'm going to need you. Sadly, I love Shelly down, but sadly she is also in Ace clutches and Ace is manipulating you because right now he doesn't like anybody else in the villa. My situation is, I think, is going exactly how he planned it for it to go, on all honesty. And then as soon as somebody else comes in, he's still not going to pick you. I get it, Shelly. You don't actually like Austin that much. You keep trying to convince yourself, but you don't. You don't like him that much. But doing this is not going to be helping. Is not helping you. When Shelly goes upstairs to go get dressed, Amaya confronts her. They get into a heated argument. More on the side of Amaya not letting Shelly talk. I understood what Amaya was saying. She's like, what's actually happening here? But also I understand why she's crashing out because Ace is literally fucking with her, and Shelly was right that this is misplaced anger, but then she ends up crying and Ace is waiting for Shelly downstairs, and then Alondria ends up being like, yeah, you might as well cancel that date and you need to be more clear with people, which leads Ace to then go talk to Amaya in, again, another rude way and be like, so this is how it's gonna go. I'm going to tell you how I feel. You're going to tell me how you feel, and we're not going to cut each other off. Go ahead. Yeah, that doesn't make me calm down. Like, if anyone starts an argument like that, I was like, if anyone starts a conversation like that, this conversation is not going to be a conversation. Okay. Because I don't even hear you. Just like he ends up saying in the middle of that conversation, it's like, he's like, you keep interrupting me, so I don't even hear you. Yeah. The way you started the conversation, she couldn't hear you either. Like, you aren't a good communicator, biatch. You aren't. And it's just like, it's so frustrating. Amaya, again, is doing too much, but at the same time, I feel like she should have been like, you know what? I'm not in a space to talk. In the end, though, what ends up going on is that Ace ends up telling her, you know what? Because of the way things are going down, I am not pursuing you anymore. Let me be clear, I'm not pursuing you anymore. And I was just like, you were just such a dick. You were just such a dick. And Amaya's like, I'm not pursuing you anymore either. I was like, oh, girly. That was a little bit embarrassing. That was a little bit embarrassing, okay? Because he did say it first. I know you tried to like say it, but no. But no, he said it first. He's not interested in you. You were still interested in him. I get it. I've been there. I've had low self-esteem before as well. Okay. I've had a guy that was like that, treat me badly. And I was still like, wait, what? Hey, I get it. It fucks with your brain. I'm glad I'm not there anymore, but you'll work on yourself. Work on yourself. Okay. Then we get to Nick and Jeremiah, and Nick is basically talking crap about Hoda. I don't know what's going on now, but it seems like the guys are really, in this episode, are really coming after Huda and like really almost trying to make Jeremiah feel self-conscious about that relationship. And the thing is, in all honesty, neither Jeremiah or Huda are really, I think Huda does really like Jeremiah. I think she's anxiously attached, but I like Jeremiah, like, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not liking it. And Nick, Jeremiah, why are you trying to go to Nick for advice? Okay. Like, did you not see how he moved? Like, he's not the person to get advice from. Austin decides to do a date with Shelly, and it's basically just doing some like mindfulness meditation. And then you see Ace and Nick talking, and Ace is like, you know what? I'm going to try to pull her again. And he's like, oh, like, Nick is like, oh, like she's with Austin. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to wait for that. Do you see what I mean? Controlling. And what does he do? He goes up there and he's like, oh, hey, can I talk to you, Shelly? And what does Shelly do? She leaves the date that she has with Austin. And I'm like, Shelly, girly, he's trying to show you that it's his way or the highway. It's his time. It's his time. There's no other time than his time. And you are feeding into it. I need you to stand up, girly. And I need you to be like, oh, you know what? Let me finish my conversation with Austin. Let me finish my date with Austin. But she doesn't. And then Ace pulls Shelly, says he wants to focus on her, and she's all excited and happy about that. And I'm just like, this man is full of crap and manipulative, and I'm going to need you girlies to stay away from him. I like you too much, Shelly, for this. I like you too much. You deserve so much better. And then, of course, Austin is feeling self-conscious because literally he's just being pulled sideways. And he also knows, I think he can tell that him and Shelly do not have the same connection that him and at least like this, or at least not even the same like sexual connection or sexual tension that Shelly and Ace have. When we get to a game where they eat, there's like pretty much like a pretty rude superlative that is going to end up making everybody upset. And some of the funny, we're not going to go through all of them, but some of the funny ones were, is that Hannah ends up saying that she picked Austin for being the most basic in the bedroom. And she said, he exudes vanilla. And then he kisses her because it was like, you have to flip something and it's you either kiss them or pie them. The flipped in was for the kiss. And I think he tried to prove that he wasn't vanilla. And I'm sorry, that kiss looked horrible. Every kiss that he gives looks horrible. Okay. I understand why Shelly's like, oh, I mean, I don't know when's the last time she kissed him, but whatever. I don't know. Shelly got most crazy in the bedroom. Ace got, which Islander do you think is here for clout over love? Which I agree. I mean, he has literally 1 million followers on TikTok. And I think that this is also a cautionary tale for these Islanders, for Love Island, is to not pick people that already have 1 million followers because they think that they're the prize. They're like, he doesn't think he needs to do anything. He thinks people need to just come to him, and you can tell. Landry said that Jeremiah was the Islander the most likely to fake a relationship to make it to the finale, which I think we all agree with, because when Huda ended up telling him that she has a kid, he's like, hey, but if we make it and win in the like, wait, how do we even get there? I'm telling you I'm a mom, and how do we get to winning the finale? Because that's what he's in it for. because that's what he's in for. Amira got the islander that was most flirtatious. And then, and Ace got, because he's not interested in Amaya, Huda said he's an islander that's secretly waiting for someone better. And Ace also was feeling some type of way because he felt like Huda is like, has a vendetta against him. Okay, Mr. Vendetta, like you literally, Ace, you literally have a vendetta against Huda and Jeremiah. We don't know why. Maybe because you want Huda, maybe because you like, I don't know, maybe you think you should be the prize. I don't know, but you literally actively have a vendetta. So it's real rich. It's real rich that you're saying that Huda has a vendetta against you. Yeah, maybe she's a little bit, maybe she's just trying to like stand up for her girl, but, and then Taylor says, and that picks Amaya for the islander that he thinks is too much of a tryhard. Ace picks Shelly for the islander that has the nicest smile. And when they flip that coin, it goes to Kiss. And he literally picks up the whipped cream pot that he's supposed to pie her with. If he was going to, and she's like, I'm not supposed to be pied. He licks it, puts that in his mouth, and then grabs her. And I was like, honestly, it was not giving to me because I see him as a game player and manipulator. I did not find it sexy. I did not. If anything, I was like, she did not consent to whipped cream, but like I was doing too much with that. But I don't find it sexy. I don't. He's putting on a show. Then the game ends. Literally, the guys are all sitting there, and then they all gang up on Jeremiah, kind of, and just are like, yeah, Huda's like being weird. Huda didn't like say her real answer. She's being kind of fake. Like, I don't actually think she's like, I don't actually, she's like, they're like, I think you like her, but I don't think she actually likes you. And then Jeremiah acts like the kid that he doesn't want Huda to treat him as, and starts being like, sulking. And then when Huda comes up, he's just like, holds her hands like, And of course Huda's upset because like, why are you, like, what just happened here? And then Taylor, who at first I thought was a gentleman, but he sits there and he's like, oh yeah, did you see how I chose Amaya to be for the try hard? And then they were like, well, how was the kiss? Because it ended up being a kiss. He's like, oh, I wasn't interested in that. I was like, why are you being a little bitch? Why are you, like, these guys were being mean girls. Like, it was just straight up mean. And I'm just like, I just don't fucks with that, honestly. Like, let's just get rid of all these men. Nick needs to go. Like, none of these men are men. They are boys and they're mean. Amaya ends up talking to Taylor and she's like, hey, what does a try hard mean? And he's like, well, it seems like you just like, even though you just keep pushing for Ace, even though like, and you're trying too hard to be with him. And I actually don't think she's trying too hard. I think she was trying to understand him, and Ace is the one who keeps pulling her, but I do understand what he meant. But also he's like, but then also you tried to ruin the date with Ace and Shelly. And I don't even think she knew that Shelly was about to go on a date with Ace. I think she was just confronting Shelly. It just happened to be, and she does explain that. She's like, oh no, that's not what happened. So then he was like, oh, okay. But so in this instance, you can see that when someone's being not like when someone's not trying to push her buttons, she's able to have a calm conversation, because like, yeah, technically calling her tryhard was rude, but she still was able to be calm and have a conversation with him, and it was fine. But I'm now kind of don't fucks with Taylor, and I honestly probably shouldn't have fucks with him anyways, after he pretty much has been saying, even in this episode, that he was not physically attracted to Alondria, but then ended up kissing her. And then that scene in the bedroom this episode where Nick's like, well, did you kiss her? He's like, yeah. It seemed like, I was like, oh, like it's so fucking hard to kiss that goddess. I mean, do you see her? Do you see her? And that's fine. You might not be like attracted to her, but you're acting like a kid. You then just don't go for her. I don't understand how hard is that? Then just don't go for her. Then just tell her you're not interested. Like, instead of getting her feelings more involved by making out with her. So then Huda demands that Jeremiah speaks with her. This is the part where I'm like, maybe Jeremiah needed more time to process. I don't know. I do feel like this is giving a little bit mommy. Like, she's like, no, you're going to talk to me. And he ends up telling her what the guys are saying. And she's like, and he's like, he didn't want to tell her, but then she's like, no, you need to tell me. Like, you never acted like this for me. How do you usually treat me? Blah, 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 blah. He ends up telling her, she ends up crying and being like, do you think that's okay? And it's not. But at the same time, like, I do think he needs to find a way to use his words like, I need time to process, instead of just being like acting like a child who just like got in trouble, you know? And he also needs better friends because those friends aren't his friends. Those friends are like Ace's little minions who Ace has sent out to try to mess up his relationship with Huda. And so possibly Huda can be Ace's, I don't know. And then Ace and Huda talk because she's like, hey, I heard some things that you feel like blah, 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 that I'm not like genuine. And he's like, well, I don't really fucks with you because like you have been making all these side comments and like that, like, I feel like you have a vendetta against me because of Amaya. And she's like, well, I mean, I was trying to protect my girl, but also like Huda like switches up real quick because when she says, she's like, well, I mean, when it came to the game and I picked you for the person who's like most likely to, be looking for the next best thing, I was like, I would rather make out with you than Amaya, and I also know how Amaya acts. I was like, whoa, so are you supporting your girl? Because as soon as he sits you down one-on-one, now you're changing your tune. So once again, I've never liked Huda. Okay. I've never liked Huda. I am going to stand up for certain things here or there because also there's a lot of players here that are acting up and being D-bags. Okay. There's a lot of mess and there's a lot of people who like need to be called out and they kind of all intertwine. It doesn't mean that there's any Huda standage here. Because I think she needs help. The fact that she so quickly changed her tune and was not defending Amaya anymore, when all of a sudden when Ace like just sits her down, I'm like, what the hell? What the helly? What the hell? Then Ace says in his he's like, yeah, so me and Huda talked. I'm glad she apologized. He's like, but if it keeps happening, it's gonna be a different type of conversation. I was like, what type of conversation, Ace? Enlighten us. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna what are you gonna do? Like that's giving intimidation. Okay. And for a man to be saying that about a conversation or a conversation he plans to have with a woman, no. No. So we'll see what happens. But I want to hear your thoughts on this whole episode because it was messy. Let me know, okay? Let me know. Like, what do you think about Huda? What do you think about the Jeremiah and Huda situation? What do you think about Ace being a manipulator and a gaslighter and how he's like playing with Shelly? Like, did you also feel like that was controlling? And do you feel like Shelly should have dropped everything that she was doing as soon as Ace says like how high, like jump, and she was like how high? Do you really? I just want to know your thoughts. But this is Bits of Banter with Antoinette. And if you like content like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell at the top so you don't miss any bits of banter from me because you don't want to miss this Bits of Banter. I love these little chats of ours. Love you, mean it. Bye.